Our next speaker of the night is a lawyer, an educator, as well as a human rights advocate. He's an associate with Falconers LLP, with special interest in anti-racist human rights advocacy, particularly when it comes to anti-Black racism. Now, if you live or work in the city, you have likely either seen or read his comment and his advocacy when it comes to issues that affect the Black community, like carding in the province. He's been very outspoken, has done a lot of great work here in the city. It is my pleasure to welcome Anthony Morgan.
Good night. How's everybody doing? It's a tremendous honor, absolutely, to be here. I'm just setting myself up, if you bear with me for a moment. But I had the opportunity to be here last year, but unfortunately, the weather didn't allow me. My flight got canceled, and so now this is round 2, and I hope, I hope you folks can gain something from what I would like to share. I feel particularly blessed, of course, and humbled, honored to be among the other distinguished speakers that you've heard tonight, and also to just share a small part of my story. And I want to share a particular story about my own upbringing, but before I do that, I would like to stop and say that I'm deeply thankful for the constant love, support, and patience of my family, and also that I've received from the community. You've shaped, inspired, and challenged me, motivated me to not only be who I am, but to leverage my skills and opportunities in service of our collective liberation and our community's well-being. And so I thank you. You can clap for yourself, you can clap for yourself. While I now live and do most of my work in Toronto, I actually grew up in Mississauga, in a small area called Malton. Yeah, Malton. Bam, bam, bam. All right. But although I always lived in Malton, I went to school in a neighboring community of Bramalea, which is in the city of Brampton. You can shout yourself out, Brampton. Brampton, stand up. And now, I went to school in Bramalea because there was French immersion in Bramalea, but there wasn't in Malton. And so I was fortunate that my parents put me in French immersion. Et c'est comme ça que je viens d'appris comment on parlait les deux langues officielles du Canada. That's how I learned to speak Canada's 2 official languages. And of course, that was instrumental in helping me eventually go to law school, McGill Law, in Montreal. And that foundation in education is what eventually propelled me forward to be the human rights lawyer and community advocate that I am today. Now, I'm very proud of my journey, but in truth, that's not the story I want to tell tonight. For tonight, I don't want to talk about the accolades. I want to talk about things before that. I want to talk about when I was a teenager in high school. In particular, I'd like to focus on a special group of people who really helped nurture me, folks who grounded me, grounded my sense of self, and helped guided me as I was growing up. This is a group I affectionately refer to as the Mandem. So, the Mandem, or my circle of high school friends. So we had the Mandem, they had different nicknames. There was Nitty, Poppy Seed, Debo, Kirby, Scully, Fada Grizzle, Meth, and of course, Fivehead. Now, with a crew with nicknames like that, what do you think my nickname was? Guess. I heard Big On. That one always comes up. Mr. Morgan. Yes. My teenaged, barely through puberty nickname was Mr. Morgan. Now, there is nothing cool about having your father's formal address as your teenage nickname. So needless to say, I hated the nickname my high school crew gave me. I still remember fussing with the guys. Yo, why couldn't I have a cool nickname like everyone else? Like, yo, even Fivehead's name is cool when you just call him Five. But truth be told, I didn't realize or appreciate it then, but the nickname the guys gave me was a reflection of how they saw me. I wasn't trying to lead the crew, but they saw in me a leader. I wasn't the most talkative in the group, but they treated me like I had something important to say. While we had mutual love and respect for one another, for some reason it was a different kind of love and respect that they had with me. And for that, I'm really thankful. Because I realize now that the guys were seeing through my teenage angst and my self-consciousness. They saw past my insecurity that made me just want to fall in line and be one of the man them. Whether consciously or unconsciously, in those formative years, they helped condition me to be the person that I am today. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for that odd high school nickname that I now carry. It helped socialize me in important ways. And I truly believe that they saw something in me, and there is something special within a lot of young people that we don't always see. We don't take the time to see. And I want to offer some words to that because I think often we don't give our kids enough of the support, time, and attention that would allow them to grow into some of the great individuals we've seen this morning, and dare I say, have the opportunity to do some of the things that I've done today. And so I think if we were to think a lot more about how we can organize ourselves as a community to support our youth, to address issues of systemic anti-Black racism as they manifest in our schools, within systems of policing, within the child welfare system, and writ large, then I think we'd be much further along. Now, I am blessed because I had people around me that saw a special thing in me. They nurtured the light. My family, the Mandem, church community, mentors, and the broader Black community. They did this for me. And for that, as I said, and I will keep saying, I'm forever thankful and grateful. When I'm introducing myself to a judge or greeting opposing counsel or meeting with government officials to discuss law reform, each time I'm reminded of what the Mandem did for me. I walk into a room wearing a suit or my lawyer's robes, and I extend a professional greeting. Hello. And I hear it. Hello, Mr. Morgan. It's now and always was more than just a nickname. And to that, I know the Mandem would only have one thing to say. Scene.
Oh my goodness. Give it up for Mr. Morgan. Mr. Morgan, sorry, thank you for everything that you do. And thank you to the Mandem for supporting him, of course. That's an awesome story, especially in a society where often you see a group of young black men and you know what people are thinking, right? And so to hear a story like that is where you see that young black men can support each other, nurture each other. So thank you for that story.